Everyone talks about luck. He got lucky with that investment. She was just at the right place at the right time. If I only had the same opportunities, I'd be successful too. We love to give credit to luck because it makes failure easier to accept. If someone else succeeds, we tell ourselves it's because of chance, not because they did something we didn't. It's comforting, but it's also dangerous. Here's the truth no one likes to admit. Luck is unreliable. It's like the weather. Sometimes it works in your favor. Sometimes it doesn't. You can't control it. You can't predict it. And you definitely can't build your life around it. If your entire plan for success depends on luck, then you're gambling with your future. And here's the problem with gambling. Sooner or later, the house always wins. Napoleon Hill, the man who spent over 20 years studying the greatest self-made millionaires of his time, understood this deeply. He interviewed giants like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and many others, not to learn how lucky they were, but to discover the principles, the laws, that consistently led to success. And what he found was eye-opening. Success isn't an accident. It isn't reserved for the chosen few. It's not about being born at the right time, in the right place, with the right family name. Success, Hill discovered, follows predictable patterns. It obeys laws, just like gravity or electricity. And one of the most overlooked but most powerful of those laws is this: your morning routine shapes your destiny. Why? Because the way you start your day sets the standard for everything that follows. If you begin with clarity, purpose, and intention, you carry that energy into your decisions, your actions, and your results. But if you start your day with chaos, distraction, and reaction, you're already behind before the game has even started. That's not luck. That's the law. And once you understand it, you stop waiting for chance to hand you opportunities, and you start creating them yourself. You've captured a profound truth. The morning isn't just a time of day. It's a blueprint for your entire life. The way you greet the dawn sets the tone for your thoughts, actions, and outcomes. Think about it. How you spend the first hour of your day often predicts how the rest of your day will unfold. If you start rushed, scattered, and stressed, that energy carries forward. But if you start calm, intentional, and focused, you carry momentum that ripples into everything you touch. History's great achievers knew this. Andrew Carnegie didn't stumble into industrial dominance. Henry Ford didn't just get lucky with the automobile. Thomas Edison didn't create 1,000 failed prototypes before inventing the light bulb by chance. They were deliberate, especially about their habits. And it started with their first waking moments. Before they could conquer the world, they first had to conquer their morning. And here's what's important. This isn't about some mystical secret or a once-in-a-lifetime stroke of luck. It's not about waiting for lightning to strike. It's about design, about being intentional with the time most people waste. The majority of people are slaves to their notifications. They wake up and immediately hand over their focus, checking phones, scrolling through endless social feeds, drowning in emails. Without realizing it, their very first act is surrender. They put themselves on defense before the day has even begun. But successful people, they flip the script. Instead of starting the day reacting to the demands of others, they claim the morning as their own. They recognize that those first minutes and hours are sacred, an investment, a chance to program their mind and body before the world comes knocking. This isn't about complicated rituals or copying what someone else does on Instagram. It's not about cold plunges, green juices, or waking up at 4 a.m., unless those things actually serve your goals. It's about cultivating power in a way that aligns with your purpose. That could mean spending 10 minutes in quiet reflection, strengthening the mind through journaling or meditation. It could be a short burst of exercise to flood the body with energy and focus. Or it could be mapping out the day's 3 most important tasks so that no matter what chaos comes, you've already decided what matters most. These small, deliberate acts create what I like to call a fortress of focus, a shield against the noise, distraction, and randomness that tries to pull you in 100 directions. And here's the key. This morning victory isn't about perfection. You don't need to be flawless. You don't need to have a picture-perfect routine every single day. What matters is progress. What matters is showing up for yourself with consistency. Because consistency compounds. Every morning you choose intention over distraction. You're stacking the odds in your favor. You're strengthening the muscle of discipline. You're training your mind to lead, not follow. When you take ownership of your morning, you're not just taking ownership of a few hours. You're taking ownership of your destiny. And that, more than luck, more than chance, more than any external factor, is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Imagine 2 ships leaving the harbor. One has a captain, a clear map, and a destination. The other has no map, no captain, no sense of direction. They both face the same wind, the same waves, the same weather. But only one of them will chart a course and arrive at a chosen destination. The other? It will drift endlessly, pushed around by forces it can't control. Your life is no different. The morning is the harbor. It's the launch point for everything that follows. If you set sail with clarity, focus, and purpose, you're the captain. You know where you're heading. And even if the waves get rough, you can adjust, correct course, and still move toward your goal. But if you start your day with no plan, no vision, no routine, you're like that second ship, adrift. You wake up, scroll your phone, get pulled into notifications, react to emails, and suddenly, hours are gone. You didn't steer the ship, you let the winds carry you. And when you live like that, you end up somewhere you never intended, wondering how you got there. Napoleon Hill understood this better than anyone. He said definiteness of purpose, the clarity of knowing where you're going, is the foundation of all success. Without it, you're just drifting, hoping that luck will push you toward success. But hope is not a strategy. Think about it. No ship would ever leave the harbor without a captain, a map, and a destination. So why should you start your day without one? Every morning, you're either charting a course for your future or letting chance decide it for you. And here's the secret. It's not about perfection. The best captains still face storms, setbacks, and unexpected challenges. But because they have a destination, they can always adjust the sails and keep moving forward. The same is true for you. When you start your morning with intention, you're not avoiding problems. You're equipping yourself to handle them without losing your way. So how do you take Napoleon Hill's wisdom and apply it to your mornings? The first thing to understand is this. It's not about copying someone else's Instagram perfect routine. You don't need a 4 a.m. wake up, a cold plunge, or a 2-hour yoga session, unless that actually serves your goals. Success isn't about copying, it's about alignment. Ask yourself a simple but powerful question. What habits will move me closer to my purpose? If your goal is mental clarity, then you need practices that silence the noise. Start your morning with meditation, deep breathing, or journaling. Even 5 quiet minutes of writing down your thoughts can clear the fog and give your mind a sharp edge. If your goal is building confidence, you need to program your mind for success. Use affirmations, or better yet, visualization. Picture yourself executing your goals, speaking with confidence, or achieving milestones. The mind rehearses what the body eventually performs. If your goal is health and energy, your body must lead the way. Begin with hydration, water before coffee, and then move. Exercise doesn't have to mean an intense workout. Stretching, yoga, a brisk walk, anything that energizes your body will energize your day. If your goal is learning and growth, make mornings your classroom. Read 10 to 15 minutes of a book that sharpens your mind, or listen to a podcast that feeds your spirit. Imagine what happens when you start each day by adding one new insight. You stack wisdom over time. Napoleon Hill called this definiteness of purpose. And that's the difference between drifting through life and steering it. It means your routine isn't random. It's designed around what matters most to you. Think about compound interest in money. Tiny amounts invested consistently grow into massive wealth over the years. Your habits work the same way. Even 20 to 30 minutes every morning invested in the right activities will shape who you become in a year, 5 years, 10 years. And here's the truth. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. They think they need to overhaul their entire life overnight. But success is rarely about one big leap. It's about thousands of small, deliberate steps taken daily. So when you design your morning with purpose, you're not just creating a routine, you're building momentum. And momentum is the hidden force behind every successful person you admire. So forget luck. Luck may open a door for you once in a lifetime, but habits keep that door open every single day. Napoleon Hill proved something powerful. Success is not a mystery, it's a science. It's not about waiting for a lucky break. It's about creating a system of habits that move you closer to your vision day after day. And that system begins the moment you wake up. Think about it. Every morning, you're making a choice. Will you drift into the day, checking your phone, reacting to the world, and hoping things go your way? Or will you design your morning with purpose, feeding your mind, strengthening your body, and aligning yourself with your bigger goals? Because here's the truth. Mornings aren't just about starting your day. They're about shaping your destiny. Each sunrise is a reset button, a new chance to take control of your story. And when you win your mornings consistently, you don't just create successful days, you create a successful life. So tomorrow morning, ask yourself, am I starting by chance or am I starting by choice? If this message hit home for you, don't just keep it to yourself. Hit that like button to let me know this resonated. Share it with someone who needs to stop relying on luck, and subscribe for more timeless lessons on success, mindset, and growth. And I want to hear from you. What's the one thing you're going to add to your morning routine starting tomorrow? Will it be journaling, exercise, reading, or meditation? Drop it in the comments. I'll be reading, and who knows, your answer might inspire someone else to completely change the way they start their day. Remember this: you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. And your morning routine? That's the foundation of it all.